this conversation. Let's do it. All right, y'all, look, welcome in to the Be More Show. We are back once again, and we got plenty to talk about on this show today. If you're on audio platforms, be sure to like the show. If you're on YouTube, just hanging out with us, listen. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, comment, get in the conversation down below. But look, we got to get right into it. We got to get right into it. I'm gonna start right here, and y'all can rock with me. All right. Is Lamar Jackson no longer a top 10 quarterback? I gotta ask the questions because for whatever reason, as of late, I feel like the Lamar Jackson slander, TV has gotten a little boring nowadays. Love Island is not on anymore. So we need some conversations. And typically in the off season, when we need some conversations, we find our way back to Lamar Jackson. We find our way back to specifically a controversial Lamar Jackson take that never really stands the test of time. Shoot, I'll be honest with you. It never really even stands the test of week 1, week 2, week 3, or week 4. But anyway, let's talk. Let's talk about it. Is Lamar Jackson no longer a top 10 quarterback? I don't know. We've had it. It's funny. It's funny because I feel like I've had this conversation before. Y'all remember when we were having the conversation a couple years ago, and Lamar Jackson wasn't ranked within, I think at the time it was the top 5 of quarterbacks under 25. I think it was. Justin Herbert was up there. Joe Burrow was up there. Josh Allen was up there. I don't think Mahomes was up there because I think he was a little bit older at that time. But the usual suspects were up there. But it was just kind of interesting. It was a kind of interesting conversation because it was like, what are y'all talking about? But let's start here. Let's start with this one, and I'll go through the rest of the narratives that have been thrown out there for Lamar Jackson as well. But let's start with this. Colin Cowherd gave his top 10 quarterbacks entering the 2026 season. And I'm gonna read these off to y'all. Be here, but anyway, let's start. I'm gonna run down the list. Y'all just let me know. Y'all feel free to stop me if you want to. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and Drake May. Let me just. I gotta look around a little bit. It's been a minute. Look, I know I've been gone for a minute. Listen. I can't even. I got to be honest with y'all. I've been gone for a little bit of time. I really have. Like, I've been gone for a little bit of time. But the last time I checked, Drake May, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, even the Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Caleb Williams, and Josh Allen are not remotely better than Lamar Jackson. But even if I want to give you the argument, you trying to tell me that Lamar Jackson going into the 2026 season with a new offensive coordinator, which should tell you something, right? Because the last time Lamar Jackson had a new offensive coordinator, he was the MVP of the league. I think we almost forgot. He had a record-breaking season. I think we almost forgot. When he had another new offensive coordinator, he won a second MVP and put up better stats than his previous record-breaking MVP. I forgot to tell y'all. Under that same coordinator, he put up another historic season. I think it was 41-4. He didn't win the MVP that season, but he still put up a historic season worthy of MVP honors in MVP votes. We know Josh Allen won that MVP. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna be nice today. I'm gonna be nice today because I'm supposed to be. I'm gonna be nice, be nice today. But you trying to tell me? Listen, let's be. I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I can. Now you can say statistically, possibly, you can say statistically that maybe, and I'm not looking at numbers right now. I'm just looking at the names. You can say that probably all these quarterbacks statistically may have outplayed Lamar Jackson last season. Right? Now, Lamar Jackson is not a yards guy. We've talked about this before. Lamar Jackson is more of an efficient TD guy. I think he had 21 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, and seven was it 7 picks or 7 turnovers? I think let's just go 7 picks. Let's just be nice. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't understand. Even still, you're telling me that we don't even know if Drake May is going to be able to put the season together that he did last year again, right? We don't know. We should be highly uncertain at this point about Justin Herbert. And if we're going to talk about injuries, we should be highly uncertain about Joe Burrow, right? That's just those are just to name a few. We know Matt Stafford more than likely going to be pretty consistent. Caleb Williams, I would love to see him do it more than 1 year before you put him in a top 10 quarterback snubbing Lamar Jackson. That's just me. Jared Goff, right? We don't know if he's going to do it year after year. Jordan Love, I honestly feel like just from the eye test, like I said, I'm not looking at stats right now. I'm just talking about the eye test. Just from the eye test, I don't even know if Jordan Love had his best season last year, right? And a lot of these guys, I have looked at the stats. A lot of these guys, including Josh Allen, a lot of these guys had very similar numbers. At least if we want to talk about scoring to turnover ratio, had very similar numbers to Lamar Jackson, who I might add was playing behind the worst offensive line in the league. Please don't at me. Listen, this is Colin Cowherd doing. I can't even say that because I'm gonna be honest. For me, I've always felt like Colin Cowherd has been relatively honest. Right? When he was wrong, he fessed up to it and he did his thing. But this take is awful. This take is bad. To not have Lamar Jackson in your top 10 quarterbacks entering the 2026 season is crazy work. Even if you want to go based off of history, Lamar Jackson gets a new coordinator, crazy work, and MVP comes out of it, especially if he's had a full offseason to deal with. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. But feel free to have a different conversation. Listen, this is crazy to me. Somebody, let's see if I can find it real quick. Somebody had put out there what the criticisms were around Lamar Jackson this offseason. Shout out to Jackson Muse. Shout out to Jackson Muse on X. And he said, and I'm gonna pull it up so you guys can see it as well. Let me see if I can pull it up with y'all. So we can hang out. All right, we gonna hang out today. So real quick, I'm gonna pull it up for y'all. So this is the criticisms that Lamar Jackson has been subject to this offseason. All right. Has been subject to this offseason. What we got? All right. Coach killer, right? Because we're talking about, well, Greg Roman is gone. And John Harbaugh got fired because of Lamar Jackson specifically, right? Not because the entire team didn't make the playoffs, not because his defensive coordinator has been coaching the worst defense historically in the league, much less for the Baltimore Ravens. No. Not because he won't get out of the way of the same offensive coordinator that Lamar Jackson put MVP numbers up under and won an MVP with. No. Lamar Jackson's the coach killer. Ranked 69, 69th on the NFL top 100, which is crazy work to me. Crazy work to me. Crazy work to me. Left off someone's ESPN top 10 list, left off Colin Cowherd's top 10 list. I mean, to think that Lamar Jackson is not a top 10 quarterback is heading into the season is crazy. If the offensive line alone, dude, y'all trying to tell me that playing behind the worst offensive guard in the league shouldn't at least get you graded on a curve for the injuries you had last year and also the numbers you put up? Okay. And still you end up one game away from the playoffs, right? One kick away from the playoffs. You put the team on your back. You are the LeBron James of the league, right? You could be named MVP every single year because that's how much you mean to your team. Crazy. The other thing it said was the last point was ESPN had a segment about his job being on the line, which is crazy, bro. And the crazy part about it is ESPN and some of the other networks and social media has been running with this narrative that Lamar is going to get traded and Lamar is not good. I've heard it all off season long. That Lamar Jackson is going to get traded. He's going to go to Miami. Remember, that was the whole big thing. He was going to go to Miami because he wants to be home in Florida. But get out of here. Please, stop it. Right? Stop it. Right? Cross the bridge of the extension when we get there. But in terms of, especially for Ravens fans, we know how much Lamar means to his team. I've said it time and time again. Without Lamar Jackson, this top 5 offense that this Ravens team seems to have year after year after year doesn't happen. Now, look, I talked about it before. How unstoppable they could be, especially when healthy, when you got Derrick Henry back there. How unstoppable you could be if DeAndre Hopkins was used properly. How unstoppable they could be if Rashad Bateman was used properly. How unstoppable they could be the way that Zay Flowers plays. Listen, we've talked about that before. How unstoppable, I mean, how good they could play if the defense could get a stop. We're talking about one of the league's worst defenses historically ever. Listen, the Lamar Jackson criticism this offseason is honestly just par for the course. It's what we expect, right? It's what we expect. And Jackson Bees put at the end, that's why Ravens fans are so overprotective of Lamar. Because the criticism never stops. Once again, Josh Allen did not make it to the Super Bowl this year. Again. Right? We have to remember that. Josh Allen did not make it to the Super Bowl when he had a pretty nice shot at getting there. There's no Lamar Jackson. There's no Patrick Mahomes. You gotta beat all the young bucks. And he couldn't do it. They talked about it. I feel like, I'm going to say it this way. I feel like it was talked about for about a week. And then we forgot about it. And Josh Allen is still our guy. Crazy work. To answer the question, obviously Lamar Jackson's still a top 10 quarterback. I think I'm just going to put this out here. Y'all can be mad at me. Be sure to credit this to me. Don't credit it to anybody else because I don't want anybody else to have that smoke. Lamar Jackson is, if not the best quarterback in this league, got to be number 2. He's got everything Mahomes has except for the Super Bowl rings. And if we're going to be honest, nobody has the Super Bowl rings that Mahomes has. No current player right now has the Super Bowl rings that Mahomes has or has even come close. I'm just saying. Listen, let me know what y'all think. Am I overreacting? Or am I being optimistic, Oscar? Let me know. Y'all gotta let me know. Y'all gotta let me know right now. Listen,